Well, our lovely executive producer has unbelievable timing. We wanted Patrice O'Neill on the show for other things, but Patrice is calling in now, right in the middle of the Mel Gibson tape. So this is perfect timing. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate that. So we'll get back to the Mel Gibson tapes in a second. Patrice.
Good morning.
And we woke up Patrice, so we have to go to Patrice. We can't, wake him up and then tell him to go back to sleep because now, we could call you later. How are you, sir?
Good, man. What's going on, man?
Oh, he's sleepy, boy.
You sound sleepy.
I wasn't really. I was in sort of REM, and then Steve was like, "I'll call you back," but if y'all call me back in 25 minutes, I'd have been out, man.
Oh, you would be out for the night or the morning, whatever. Your night.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you because we had a great conversation about LeBron James, but then Jimmy's telling me that you couldn't get into Montreal.
I read it on your Twitter.
Yeah, man. They, back in the day. I mean, I've been there 40 times. You know what I mean? Since '95 or so. But I drove up. I usually drive up now because I don't like to fly. They don't have big planes, and so I don't get on any little planes. So I drive there now, and they always give me problems or whatever just because it's I don't know what they see, but they let me in, so I went up there this time.
Patrice, you look really scary.
Well, look,
first
man,
impression, you look very scary, and then we realize you're just a lovable fucking...
He's not lovable.
He's lovable.
I love Patrice.
He's lovable. When you get to know him, he's lovable. Huh?
I wouldn't say I was lovable. I would say that I'm not. Look at, I mean, you guys, Jimmy looks like a Nazi, and you look like, Dan Gilbert, from the Cleveland, and Anthony doesn't look like what he is, but he is what he is. But you know me, you get to know me. I mean, I'm whatever. But the girl, one thing you don't do when you go to Canada, you don't try to be charming. I've learned that you take it the way somebody wants to give it. So, they look at you, they look at your paperwork. There was 2 phases. One was like the toll booth thing that you go through. They could stop you there, but he let me through because I had all the work permits. And when you get the work permits, they do checks on the work permits. So you can't even get a work permit unless they do a check. So if somebody does a check, give me work permit. I've been there a million times. They send me to the immigration, to do whatever they got to do because of the work permit.
Right.
So if I didn't have a work permit, I probably wouldn't have to go deal with that. But I go into immigration, and I go up to the Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa girl with 2 braids and glasses. She looked like the chick that Jaws was fucking in Moonraker. The little
nice reference.
Like
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I go up. She's like, what do you here for? And I'm like, I'm going to do the comedy thing. And just for laughs, she's like, what do you? I go, well, yeah, here's my thing. And so she's back there. I'm thinking she's gonna come back, ask me a couple of questions, but it started going into about a good half hour. Now I had driven. It had been 6 hours at that point. I had driven up there, so I got there about 8:30. This was Saturday, and I saw her pull down 2 big ass books, look like Bibles and shit. I was like, God damn, what's going on? Sitting there another half hour. Finally,
wow.
She's like, me stay there. I need your registration for your. I said, shit. They never asked for shit like this. They starting to do shit they ain't never asked before. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm keeping my head. Because I always thinking to myself, I'll go back home. There's nothing more comfortable than my house. Fuck Canada, but I'm thinking, shit, I gotta go up there. I got a show. So I'm like, fuck. All right. So I give her my registration, and I'm like, Miss, what's going on? Sit back down, please. I said, oh, this ain't good. So another half hour, I come back. She calls me in through another door, past the door that you come in. It was a special door. I'm like,
oh, shit.
Yeah, so another one who's a black-haired version of her, just young, good-looking chicks. She says, "What's your social security number?" I go, I don't know it. And she's like,
wait, do you know it and you didn't want to tell them, or you don't know it?
Yeah, because this is all new shit.
Right.
This is usually they just look at you, they look at me and go, "Yeah, I done that," and then they do the Clouseau shit, and then they fucking let me through. This time, a social security number. I go, I don't know it. I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "I need your social security number." I go, Then the other one, the Swiss Miss girl comes up and she bangs on the table and goes, "You've been convicted of rape." Oh, shit. Easy. You're not supposed to be yelling those shit out. You ever been convicted? I said, "I don't know. You tell me what you see. I don't know what you see. I ain't telling you shit." So she goes, I said, "I ain't telling you shit. The worst they can do if you not committing a crime is send you the fuck back home. That's all I know." So, but then they started doing the sneaky, we gonna beat the shit out of a nigga moving. So I'm looking at out my left eye and my right eye, and it was some guys that would just love to have, pepper spray me and all of that. Don't tase me, bro, nigga. I'm really on that. Don't tase me, bro, because that shit'll kill me. So I'm like, look, I'm not yelling. It's just this is a little bit shocking that you asked me all these questions. And look, miss, I know my social security number, but I don't want to tell you because I've never had to tell you before. But I'll tell you now. So I give her my social security number. She goes, "Yep." She checks it. "Yep." "You rip." I was like, "Whoa."
You rip.
Let me tell you the story. If anything, at least murder. This is the thing about murder. Motherfucker go, "Oh, you got a murder charge. What happened?" "Oh, I hit an old lady crossing the street. Oh, fucking, I had a fight, knocked the nigga out, hit his head on the fucking, he hit his head on the fire hydrant." Or, "Yeah, fucking, I gave motherfucker a bad dose of cocaine and stuff." But Rick is like, "Hey, well, let me tell you the story, bitch." No. Sign this paper. And I said, "I ain't signing shit."
Wait, what does she want you to sign?
I don't know. They just go rip. And then I go, "I'm not signing shit." So they say, "You cannot come in the country." I go, "Hey, man, give me my motherfucking ID. I'll leave Canada, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I'm not signing shit." So they they followed me outside, put me in the truck, send me back. The paper. Okay, they put down refuse to sign. It was a refusal letter, which is now on my record. If you get refused to go into Canada, it's on there that you were refused.
Oh shit!
I was refused in '92, and they still asked me about it. So
why were you refused?
A different set of circumstances. I'll go into it. Much less strenuous circumstances than Patrice had to deal with.
Something dumb.
Yeah.
And the Patrice story he told on this show a while ago. I mean, it wasn't rape. Simple as that.
No.
We don't have to get into it for the next hour.
There's no, we joke about the shit, the rape. It's just like
rape.
Put that shit. But when there's enough motherfuckers, especially when white boys get into that situation, the Scottsboro boys, but when the Duke lacrosse boys get into that, and then you get the Tawana Brawley shit, the more that shit happens, the better, the less like a rip-it side look,
Right.
Look, man, it's like you 17, you fuck a 15-year-old, you committed a crime, you know what I mean? So back then, before the internet and scary things, it's like, it's like that's no big deal. But now, I'm 300 pounds and with gray beard hair. I'm looking in there. I'm probably looking at her, and I'm an asshole. I never was like, "Please let me into Canada." I am like, fuck that, man. I'm not signing shit. But then America has to treat you like shit.
Well, Patrice, what was this? What did they actually want you to sign? You're not sure what it was?
It was a I had to agree that I was a rapist.
Ripist.
I had to sign, because when I gave them the paper, they gave me a piece of paper and when I gave the guys that, they gave me two pieces of paper. One, the Canadian consulate, and this is what I have to do to come back to Canada ever again, is go down to the consulate and bring transcripts of the first of all, 5 years had to go past. It's been 25 years. So, 23 years. And 5 years have to go past. You have to get the transcript, the court transcripts. You have to get all the shit from the court. You have to get something from a sheriff. And you have to get a letter from a clergyman and some law-abiding citizen and all kind of shit to go back to Canada, So I probably won't be going back to Canada ever again. And then the paper I had to give to America. And then when I gave that paper to America, they said, "Why did you get refused?" So it was some kind of refusal paper that I had to agree with. But I'm like, they can't do shit. Because I wasn't committing no crime. All they could do is tell you and scream. But the thing is, they could have played me nice if they had been like, "Oh, we just asked you." But the girl was so offended. The Swiss Miss girl was in complete, utter shock. I said, "I've been here 25 times. Look at your computer." They wasn't on it. She was, and then I go to America and they say, "Well, they can do that. There's no protocol at the borders. There's no protocol at the border.
They just make it up as they go along."
You can make it up as you go along.
And she didn't want to hear your story when you said, I could explain that.
Well, I wasn't going to explain that.
Okay.
I'm saying that to you guys, like, as soon as they see that, it's like, that's what it is.
Right. There's no explaining.
I don't even say that I know what that is. They ask me, "You live in Massachusetts? Have you ever been to?" I said, "You tell me." You tell me. I'm looking at you.
You got it right in front of you. You tell me. Right.
I don't know what you think I did. And she said, "Rat."
Right.
I said, "Oh, Jesus Christ, bitch. Please don't say that out loud." Because me and the other African families in here, we already uncomfortable.
Are you saying it was only black people in that special room?
Motherfucker, I almost don't want to say it because it sounds made up. But it was nothing but niggas stuff in there.
Oh, shit.
And French niggas, too. They're going, "Look at BB." Like, you don't give a fuck. You Pepe Le Pew. You can be anything you want, nigga. They fucking with niggas at the border, man.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not going to say it's racist. I'm going to say it's it was a lot of black people there sitting there, and they went buck wild, and they did the whole, okay, here's a big... And then they did it in the U.S. Usually I get the worst going back to the U.S., but I always stay arrogant. I don't want to stay like belligerent, but I always stay like, who gives a fuck? Send me home. But this time I was driving. So like I said on the Twitter, I found out that I can drive 12 hours straight. I need to.
You
fucking sent me home.
You drove 6 hours just to turn around and drive 6 hours home.
Damn.
Here's the best part of this shit. I'm having a nervous breakdown. Like, why is life, doing this to this month? Mm-hmm. Life is just being hardcore. So I'm like trying to keep my head up. Here's the best part of the story. The best thing that happened to me the whole day. For years, I've been going to McDonald's and saying, I want a quarter pounder with cheese, no onions, heavy pickle. If they put 3 pickles on it regularly, they'll put 5 on it when I say heavy. I'm like, I never get it the way I want. I go to this dumb border fucking McDonald's, like about a mile up, sad and angry and getting ready to kill myself with a cheeseburger because it's just like, oh, boy. This dumb bitch made me the best. It was a whole layer of pickles, and I said, "Is this what it took for me to get my quarter pounder with cheese, having pickles? You motherfucker!" I don't know how I got home. I'm driving through the fog of the Adirondack Mountain with a quarter tank of gas, and I got home, man. I got home, laid down. I talked to my mama on Sunday, and I haven't cried since I was 17. I cried Sunday because it just hit me. I cried like a bitch. I'm telling you, I cried like a bitch, and it was just like, what the? And you know, and I'm gonna tell you, this is getting a little weird, but I figured out something. I never thought that not having a father meant anything to me. I never gave a fuck because I always said I could have been just sperm somewhere, but I'm alive. I realized, I said, damn, I never had a mentor, a male figure mentor to just be a man better than me. So I never had somebody 60 years old to just go, damn, nothing. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to be a man right now. and only thing, you know, your moms could do, God bless my mother, I love her. She, you know, she's sending me, you know, the God takes one thing out of your hand and so that you have space to hold another. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, will you just stop with that shit?
I don't need a proverb right now.
To go, nigga, it's all right, man. Stop being a bitch. Let's do this. You know, fuck it. Fuck Canada. You know, so I had to get through it on Sunday morning because I didn't get on till like 5 in the morning on you know, Saturday.
You know what? That's why you were crying, Patrice. You were exhausted from driving 12 hours.
I hope that was it because I haven't.
You were weak
since my dog died when I was 17 years old. I was just like, what the fuck? I started thinking of all kind of shit. I was hallucinating.
Oh man!
And I just lost it. But it wasn't about Canada. It was about why am I dealing with this horse shit? Like, I should have just been able to stick gum on that Canadian border window and just, fuck Canada.
Right.
But it was just a pain in the ass. Now, I was supposed to be there Saturday. Now, you know, in Montreal, nigga, holy shit, you know, it's, you know, people that don't know the story, it's all being whatever formulated or whatever the fuck they trying to do.
Did she send you?
Trying to get me over there somehow, but I don't know what's going on.
Did she send you things like, and Lord, that's when there was only one? Why was there only one set of footprints? Because you weren't allowed to cross the border, motherfucker. That's why.
Yes.
I don't think Jesus could carry Patrice.
That's what mothers can do. That's what mothers can do. And then my male friends, you know, we don't have the ability, you know, you going through that, you like, oh, man. And then you switch it to yourself like, you know, oh, man, I remember, like, if you went through that, I'll be like, man, I remember when I was at the border. Like, all I can do is relate to myself. I can't, you know, you just want to have somebody go, fuck that, and you go, yeah, fuck that, thank you. But it was like, it was just, you know, it was one of them moments, but I got through it because that's what you have to do. So it was like that situation is just haunting. But it's like it would be cooler if I had murder, even robbery. What did you rob? Oh, a bank. Whoa! It's like when you see a rip. That's what made it so much more embarrassing. She mispronounced the word. It was rip. R.I.P. She pronounced it, but the way she pronounced it had the energy. It's just whoever invented the word was goddamn smart. It's a fucking word that you go, don't say it. She said, you're a murderer. I would look around like, you motherfucking right. This motherfucker, now fuck with me. But
Rip
goes right through you.
If a Mongolian was like, rup, you'd be like, oh, Jesus, fuck. Don't say that shit.
There wasn't a pack of you at the time, was there, Patrice?
A pack of no.
Just
trying to get back to the Mel Gibson thing.
Good old Mel Gibson.
Yeah, no. It wasn't a pack. It wasn't a pack. Mel Gibson made me laugh like a mother. I'm telling you, even getting raped by a pack of niggas was worth listening to that cocksucker. That dirty bitch out about her fake tits. It just made me laugh. And I go, you know what? I'll even let this motherfucker say raped by a pack of niggas. Because you know something? I almost, in a forgiving way, I almost can say to myself, this motherfucker, it wasn't racist. It was just in context of cursing this bitch out.
Yep.
And he said, you gonna get raped by a pack of niggers, you dumb whore.
In the white world.
Black dudes, like he would have said it if there was black dudes in the room, like, and go, guys, I don't mean you. Just, she's such a whore. It didn't even take me out of the laughing 1 second. He's so brutal. But that's the story, guys. That's the border story, you know.
That's a big story right there. Hey, while we have you on the phone, LeBron James, because we got to cover it anyway. You and I talked. I don't even know. You were driving to Canada when we were talking. You were on your way already.
Yes, I fucking was.
I killed an hour with you on the phone.
Yep.
I killed an hour with Patrice, made it a little easier.
Did you call him or did he call you?
He called me.
That's what he does.
I called him. You know why I called him? Believe it or not, I was listening to the best of replay going down, and Opie said something about Bobo being as boring as watching a video buffering, and I laughed hard as fuck. I said, I got to call this fucker and just say,
video
that made me laugh.
Yeah,
it really did.
He called me about that, but then we talked about LeBron for about an hour. And Patrice's take on LeBron is the best take. It's the best take.
Look, LeBron, if you're a basketball fan, you don't have to be. There's too many levels. I'll go, the first level is your own personal investment. My own personal investment of disappointment for LeBron, and then this is as far as it goes, and then the rest is just little different things back and forth. There's like a million of them. I've been a basketball fan my whole life. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and fucking Magic Johnson, they would have never said, "I'm not going to ever win a championship unless I join forces with each other." They hated each other.
Yep.
Fuck you, Larry Bird, and fuck you, Magic Johnson, and fuck you. It was Larry Bird got 3 rings. Larry Bird got 3 rings. Magic Johnson got 5. Jordan got 6. Dr. J got 1. And all of those rings have the same value because they got them during the time when they all hated each other and they were trying to win. They hated each other. So if you could have squeezed one out during that time, you're still an all-time great. LeBron did the 7-year plan, and what disappoints me is LeBron, people were saying this guy may challenge Michael Jordan. He didn't want to be Michael Jordan. What shocked me is that LeBron wants to be Scottie Pippen.
That's the headline right there. Doesn't want to be the greatest of all time. Just wants to be, second best on a team.
He fucking wants to be second banana and win rings. And that fucking shocked me. That shocked.
Do you think that's just that he really wants that, or is it like one of those things where you subtly sabotage success because you're scared of not achieving? It's almost like, hey, if I don't say I want to, that he's just afraid.
Patrice is saying that. Patrice is saying that LeBron James is really a scared guy.
Okay. Oh, I just repeated what you said, and actually was mine. Sorry.
Well, no, I don't.
He's horrified. Look, man, he came out. He's a physical specimen. He's godly. He's 6'8", runs like a reindeer, dribbles, shoot. He's as a basketball physical specimen to play basketball, dude. There's no one that's ever been greater. Just his physicality, he's the greatest player to ever play. But I didn't know. I always thought he had heart. This is why the Celtics thing. There's a street legend that one of his teammates slept with his mama, which made a whole lot of sense to me. I think he to be a guy, look, he wasn't scared of the Celtics. He used to score 35 points a game against the Celtics. No one on the Celtics they're full of old men. No one could make him scared. he gave up in such a strange, distant spiritual way that I believe that the story that's in the streets is that somebody's was messing with his mama.
And that would be his teammate West was supposedly having sex with LeBron James.
This is all conjecture and it's all fucking.
Yeah, no one's really touching it. I mean, it's here and there. It's on some blog sites, but ESPN isn't covering it. That's for sure.
No, because it's dangerous territory. But the streets believe it. Trust me. The street and people. You ask some black people from Cleveland call. The streets believe that because the way he left, first of all, as it's going on, because it's still big news, unbelievably. His little thing they did in Miami where it was him, Wade, and Bosh kind of dancing. LeBron dances better than that. If that makes sense. His spirit, he didn't want to leave Cleveland like that. There was something deeper than what we know. It was some kind of betrayal. That dumb owner, Dan Gilbert, he or whatever his name is, this fucker, if he had kept his mouth shut and had some sophistication, we would still be saying LeBron is an idiot and a coward. But now you go, wait a minute. This is the kind of guy that LeBron was working for?
Wait, what'd the guy say, Patrice?
Oh, Gilbert's been saying a lot of shit. A lot of great shit.
The shit he said when I thought he was emotional.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The shit he said when I thought he was emotional was enough. And I go, okay, I'm going to let him get away because he's emotional. This motherfucker owns Big Heads. You know Big Head Company, right?
No.
It's the company that sells giant wall stickers, life-size giant wall stickers.
Oh, okay.
Of different players. Baseball, it's the exact replica you stick on your wall, you buy it for your kids, whatever. He 2 days later, he lowered the price
Listen to this.
of the LeBron James one from $99.99 to $17.41. $17.41 because that's Benedict Arnold's birthday.
That's when Benedict
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, he is pissed.
He's a fucking asshole, this guy.
He's pissed.
Vindictive, dirty motherfucker. LeBron, everybody's saying they're not mad. I'm only mad because LeBron left the way he left. And look, Cleveland is in turmoil. LeBron James was responsible for a lot of Cleveland's economy, dude. Witness and Nike and his whole presence, for him to leave like that, it's something more than just I'm going to go play with fucking Dwayne. LeBron James is a beast.
Well, Patrice, let me jump in.
Left to go play with Wade.
Let me jump in because you didn't really explain. During the Celtics playoff series, he had one of the worst games ever.
Yeah, but
and you were telling me on the phone that he was looking around the bench going, you know what? Oh my! All these guys knew that West was sleeping with my mama.
When you're a young guy, look, if somebody fuck my mama, one of my friends right now, fuck my moms, I'm at a place where I would go, two things would happen. I go, nigga, you hate me, but you look stupid, man, because you hate me and now I know it, and you gave my mother some ass. She's in her 60s. So you did both of us a favor. You gave her some sex, and I don't have to fuck with you no more because you a piece of shit.
How many times do we have to have this argument?
So, wait a minute, though. So, as a 25-year-old guy, first thing you do is if you find out somebody done mess with your moms, you go, who the fuck knew? Everybody start looking down, chewing on their nails, and looking around like, you motherfuckers knew that this nigga was fucking my mother. And you didn't say shit.
And you told me he found out between Game 3 and Game 4. You're convinced of that.
This is all the
because you see
of the story.
I believe
It makes sense, Opie.
Well, Game 3, he had a great game, right? I don't remember anymore.
Game 3,
he killed him.
Destroyed him.
And then Game 4.
Game 3, boom. Game 4, yes.
Game 4, he had one of the worst performances of his entire career.
Yes. But then here's what a beast he is physically. I don't know about mentally, but physically. What's his name? Rajon Rondo of the Celtics had what they were calling one of the greatest triple-doubles of all time. 28 points, 13 rebounds, 16 assists, some shit like that. The game 6 that they lost in Boston, LeBron had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. He had one of the greatest triple-double games of all time in a playoff.
Right.
And they still call him fucked up. He still is so good, he can still cover up, but he checked out mentally. He's not afraid of anybody on the court. He checked out mentally, and he said, fuck everybody. And don't forget another thing. He never says Cleveland, ever. He only says Akron. So he might not give a shit about Ohio. He only talks about where he's from. Right. He never goes, hey, I love Cleveland. When he has little things that he has to do, he goes back to Akron.
Right.
He don't go. He accepted his MVP trophy in Akron, at Akron High School. He bigs up where he went to high school, not Cleveland. He wears New York hats. He wears Dallas Cowboy hats. LeBron, the painful thing, he might not give a shit about Ohio. And let me tell you, man, it's just like when I meet a guy and he says, I married my high school sweetheart and I'm from like Portland, Oregon, I go, are you a fucking retard? You marrying a bitch that you used to eat potato puffs with, you fucking clown? Nigga, leave your state. You live about 4 states from California, you fucking nincompoop. So he's been fucking weird looking. Look, hot Cleveland girls have trouble competing with ugly Miami bitches.
Hey, it is a good point. He's
right.
He's been photographed with the Yankees hat on, and I think you're onto something that he never really cared about Cleveland and couldn't wait to get out of there. I think Cleveland though is just pissed off how he did it, making a big to do about it with that hour special on ESPN. And telling him that way that he's leaving their fine city.
Explain to me what he owed. Like,
he doesn't owe him shit. Trust me, I get that.
What did he do that, because I can't be as mad as I'm trying to put myself in a Cleveland but what did he do that makes them so mad? If they're honest, well, there was no way he could have left and they'd been happy. Now,
but I think it shows. Hold on, I think it shows a lack of class. I think he should have he should have been low key. A lot of guys are low key when they change teams, and just a low key thing. This was a big event on ESPN with stupid Jim Gray and his dumb 10 questions or whatever it was.
It was a little bit hokey, but let's say if he said, "Hey Dan, I'm gonna actually try my hand in another situation," and then say a little small thing like, "Hey, Cleveland, thank you for everything you've done for." Cleveland people still be taking shits on his jersey. It was the same fury.
Yeah, they burned his jersey.
They had to hire a construction company to take down all the shit.
all the LeBron shit.
He had, look, when you fly into Cleveland, you see a LeBron picture.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
From the air. You can see that fucking thing.
Yeah, it's giant.
You know what, though? Fuck Cleveland, and fuck him, and fuck Miami, and Dan Gilbert, and betrayal. Like this is a fucking military operation. It's some cocksucker that throws a ball through a hole. And fuck Dan Gilbert. If Michael Jordan was in his prime and he said you could have one or the other, he would have taken his shit in LeBron's mouth and taken Jordan. Fuck all these guys.
Well, but the message...
and I agree with that, too. That's what I'm saying. I'm not angry. I can't be that.
No, I don't. But the message here, which Jimmy has touched on many times on the show, we take our sports teams way too fucking seriously, and then you learn through the LeBron James situation, they don't take what team they're on serious enough.
Right, exactly.
Not as serious as you take it.
That's why I'm Billy Bandwagon, and I'm going out to get my Miami Heat jersey.
Hey, man.
And I'm going to start. That's my new favorite team.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Patrice, I've openly admitted I haven't followed the NBA in the last few years. I am all in starting this fall. I can't wait to hate on the Miami Heat.
If they get a center with one leg, they'll win 80 games.
But you know what? They have to win the championship, and if they don't win that fucking championship, I'm going to be laughing big time.
And they will because they will win because the argument was, oh shit, what are they going to do? Share the ball? LeBron James left to become second fiddle.
To be Scottie Pippen.
That is a fucking fact.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And one thing with your theory about him hating Cleveland and his teammates and all that and having that horrible game in the playoffs, remember when that series was over, the shot they showed many, many times was LeBron walking off the court and ripping that Cavaliers jersey off. That wasn't about
ripping it off.
That wasn't about losing that series. That was about fuck everyone. I'm out of here, and this is the last time you're going to see me in this fucking jersey.
Fuck everybody. And if you look at that shit, he walked up to Kevin Garnett, and if you don't know his story, he was loyal to Minnesota for many years. He's only 32 years old, but he's been in the league for 16 years because he came in he's 32. He's been in the league 14 years. He came in when he was 18. And LeBron ran up to him, gave him a hug, and they talked for a minute. Kevin Garnett said in the press conference right after that game, and he goes, look, man, if I knew what I knew now, then when I was 25 in my prime, I'd have left Minnesota a long fucking time ago. I had a terrible dream one day that I was talking to fucking Leno or somebody. It was Patrice Day. I was famous, and he said,
I'm sure Leno's had the same nightmare.
Rip.
And in the fucking dream, I said, he goes, how did you get famous? I said, when I became disloyal, when I became a guy who didn't think about other people, then fame comes. Kevin Garnett said the same thing. He said, man, if I had knew this, I'd have told loyalty to eat my asshole years ago because I was staying loyal to suckers. And LeBron made that move based on guys who are 32-year-old men and 33-year-old men and not a 25-year-old basketball machine who could have won his one championship in Cleveland.
Would have been
surrounded
huge.
by him.
Huge.
He wouldn't have needed another championship.
Right.
Ever.
Well,
he had the key to the city for life.
And you got to throw this into the equation. I think Cleveland went 61-21 last year, I believe. They were pretty close to
66 the year before.
They were pretty close to winning a championship. Maybe in the offseason they get another player, and they would have been right there again. So it wasn't like he was leaving a team that sucked.
He just not. He wants other guys to play. Listen, he got Dwayne Wade, who is he's arguably the third best player. Kobe's 1, LeBron's 1B, and fucking Dwayne Wade is 2 in terms of the best player in the league. He is a beast. I mean, a beast, and he likes to win. He beat Dallas by himself. And when they won that championship, man, because Shaq was breaking down at that time. All he needed was a half a Shaq, and he won a championship, man. LeBron is, he made the right move in terms of going with the right person, but for his legacy, for who we thought he was, for all the props that we gave him, he made a bad fucking move.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think there was a move that he wanted Cleveland to make? You guys are much more basketball knowledgeable than I am.
Yeah, Amari Stoudemire, the guy that's in New York now.
In New York.
So Gilbert, he had a guy named J.J. Hickson on the bench that he looks at for the future. J.J. Hickson could be good in 3 years. He could be great. Amari Stoudemire is a bona fide beast right now. Beast. The guy that's in New York that New York signed. Bona fide, will dunk it in your fucking face any chance he gets kind of guy. LeBron could have got him. Dan Gilbert wouldn't give up J.J. Hickson for Amari Stoudemire. He got the guy Antoine Jameson from Washington Wizards instead, who is serviceable. So he's a serviceable guy, but he's not a legitimate number 2. He needed a legitimate number 2 who is really has the one mentality, like a really, and Amari was that guy. Amari was a guy, you dump it down to him and you unleash him like a fucking pit bull, and LeBron could smile and he doesn't have to beat you but see, the great ones wanted to beat you by themselves. LeBron, he got scared, and he was on the Jordan game plan, which is 7 years. But Jordan, if it took him 20 years, he'd have won a fucking championship. He just.
I think it took.
I didn't realize LeBron was that guy.
Didn't it take Jordan 6 years to win with the Bulls? I think
it took him 7 years.
7 years, so 6 years where he was.
And he and he won in '91. And the thing is, it's not like Jordan had that game plan. Jordan wanted to win day one.
Right.
The 7-year plan, Jordan hated the 7-year plan. But Bill Russell won every year since he was in the league for 13 fucking years. So Jordan wanted that. He ended up winning it because he got Scottie Pippen and he got this triangle system, and that's the same thing that happened to Kobe. He got the triangle system. He got a couple of good players. Years to be 30.
All right, listen, because we got to move on to other things, but I do want to ask you about the Jesse Jackson thing, which, and you heard the Jesse Jackson thing.
I've been asleep on that one. I know he called this thing.
He called Dan Gilbert a slave owner, and LeBron's not a slave, and blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, look, man. I think the sad thing is when you're dealing with racial issues, right? A guy like Jesse has used, even if he makes sense, he's used up. White people automatically go, I don't want to listen to fucking Jay. If he even says something that's legitimate.
Right.
If I look at Dan Gilbert, the argument beyond race is the ownership of the team, which is you will fuck anybody you can fuck to get your way. And why are you on LeBron talking about disloyalists? First of all, as an owner, he's like, we did everything. You're supposed to do everything.
Of course, that's your job.
The greatest player ever.
Right.
That's your job, Mr. Owner. You're supposed to build a team to win a championship. So shut the fuck up. But the thing I think Jesse's talking about is living with the arrogance of white people, and this is one of the most arrogant parts. And this is what I learned getting in trouble when I was young. The white system, you take away, you're white and you're white. It's a system. It's a system when black people say white, and the system is, nigga, I don't give a fuck how you really feel. Just smile and be grateful. That's the system.
Well, let me read.
So, that's it.
Yeah, let me read what Jesse said about Dan Gilbert.
He's an asshole.
Exactly.
All right, let me listen to it with black ears. Let me listen to it.
Take the stolen iPod buds out. That was my racial joke.
Well, Dan Gilbert said that LeBron leaving, it was cowardly betrayal or something like that, right? So, Jesse, the big quote in this is, his feelings of betrayal personify a slave master mentality. He sees LeBron as a runaway slave. This is an owner-employee relationship between business partners, and LeBron honored his contract. Well, of course.
Jesse's right.
But you're not.
No, he's not right about the slave owner
to bring in the slave master mentality. It's like, fuck you, Jesse Jackson. Bringing up slavery all the time.
I agree with Jesse.
That's enough.
And let me tell you.
You don't want him to leave, then fucking he should have hobbled him.
I don't agree with the fucking.
Yeah, he was a true slave owner.
Yeah.
I think, and believe me, I would never defend Jesse Jackson. I think the guy is a tool, a complete tool.
Yeah.
But I think what he's saying is the arrogance to use language like that as an owner about betrayal, when it really is an employee. I agree with Jesse completely.
That's fine, but he's gotta fucking bring the slave owner mentality.
Wait a minute, though, but you're taking it.
I don't know any multi-million-dollar slaves.
Literally.
Huh?
Well-paid slave.
The analogous way to look at it is like this. Look, David Stern, who's the commissioner of the NBA, everybody's talking about how David Stern is not going to let this bullshit happen again. Like, we're not going to let players collude with each other, because this is more conjecture, is that LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and the other kid, Bosh, colluded to do this.
Do you think that's the first time that has happened in NBA history?
As open as, because free agency hasn't been, what it is. I mean, and another thing though, also know, because Isaiah Thomas hated Karl Malone, and what I mean by that is, Fuck him. I'm not fucking playing with that fucking homo. Fuck him. He hit me in the eye and bust my eye open. Fuck that motherfucker. Get me some unadulterated motherfuckers so I can beat that bitch. And that's what they used to do back then. Now they're buddies. They go to each other's weddings, and it's Facebook Day, man. Everybody's a fucking friend and a buddy. So they colluded supposedly since 2006 after they played in the Olympics, and they all found out they love sushi, and they probably all, I don't know, my father, the whole stupid shit. So they just said, well, let's play together on some young guy shit. These guys are young as a motherfucker. They're 25, dude. Right. So I'm saying that the commissioner is like, this will never happen again. As a black man, as a white guy, you go, what the fuck you talking about? As a black man, you go, why can't niggas do that? It makes it seem like, oh, when niggas just sit down and three motherfuckers come together and make a power move in a business that's run by the powers, right. But now these three young niggas like bum rushed the league and made some kind of superpower that was they did it.
You know what? You know what? They should be able to do that. Fuck.
I agree.
They should be able to do that if they want. If they want to like talk behind closed doors and try to figure this shit out for the future, they should be allowed.
They absolutely should be able to do that because nobody stops the scumbag agent. These moves are made anyway with scumbag agents and fucking scumbag lawyers. I would much rather have three players go, you know what? Fuck it. Let's meet up in Miami and play. I would much rather have that.
My problem is with the Jesse Jackson thing and him bringing up slave owner mentality and shit like that. That fucking race-baiting shithead will bring up the slave shit every single conversation, which, to tell you the truth, downplays the seriousness of slavery itself.
You're right. Look, Anthony, you're very right. That's why I say it's like, look, race is an actuality. There's certain angles that white people just won't listen to. Look, if I was white and I learned about slavery, dude, it would bother me. If I was white, I want slavery to disappear too. It just, because in reality, the more you find out about slavery, the more I find out about slavery, the more I go, how do black people why are we not insurgents in America? How do we not fly?
You are.
We're not.
Yes, you are.
A couple of murders don't make us what we should be.
Rip.
It's not. We don't do what we should be doing in terms of what we went through. Slavery it still means something.
Can't organize a fucking block party without 18 people being shot. You're going to get an insurgency together?
I know, but why can't you look at it, right? Here's the problem, that black people need help. So as white people, why can't white people look at that shit sometimes?
Well, we have been horrid at
not as benevolent master.
We've been horrible at helping black people, so we should just stop.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, instead of looking at it like, look at these fucking animals, it's like, not like, let me help you, little nigga, but more like, man, this shit is wrong. And look, I hate that shit. But listening to Jesse, I know what the fuck he's talking about. It's just that this motherfucker still has the lingo of 19. He still calls white people hunky.
He really does.
He's
nailed it.
70 years old, man.
You nailed it. Yeah. But for him to go after,
I don't know how to relate to racial issues right now. He's too old.
But for him to go after Dan Gilbert, don't you think all the owners are quote slave owners then?
Hey, I'd like to make this point, and that the point you just made is when what's the guy everybody says is an asshole there, the radio guy, big time, the fat dude, popping pills. Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh wanted to try to buy a football team, and they all got together and said, oh, we can't have Rush. But my thing was, okay, fuck Rush, but do you think that the guy that owns the Pittsburgh Steelers doesn't still own a slave or two? He's 99 years old. He's the cheapest team. He hired Mike Tomlin, but you don't think that motherfucker? You don't think the guy from the Dallas Cowboys? You don't think Jerry Jones has a nigger laugh once or twice? Everybody's a fucking liar.
That's the biggest thing. You're right.
You're right.
Too many lying motherfuckers.
Much more happy. Everyone's a fucking liars.
Bunch of liars. I want to get into this a little later, if we could, but the brand new and improved Black Panthers, that whole movement that's going on right now.
Jesus Christ, you have been on vacation.
Oh, my God. I have just been on their site. I'm reading their 10 goals in life and what they want to attain and reparation. And I'm sitting there going, this is just as bad as niggermania on the other end of the spectrum.
Was you having niggermania running in the background?
Yeah, I had both up on one on one computer, one on the other, and I was having a computer race war.
Dude, the fucking guy, I saw the speech he made, the Malik Shabazz.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looked like a sketch off the fucking Chappelle show. It didn't even look real. It was like, who cares?
They're wearing their goofy uniforms.
It's just silly, kind of angry, nerdy black guys in the background.
You know what, though? They're not taken seriously as if you get 3 fucking white guys together.
I agree.
That are preaching the Second Amendment, and you have a fucking militia that's ready to take over the fucking country. You get fucking 10 black guys.
The sad thing, though, Anthony, is that the white people get to separate from other white people. The thing is, you can't believe how many black people want to agree with you, but they just cannot because of the lying that's going on. So we have to like go, oh, the new Black Panthers, that's right. We have to raise a fist, but this motherfucker might be goofy, but the fact is, black people got to go see Tyler Perry movies because they black. and all these people
sorry about that.
Manipulate.
That's the second worst atrocity to black people.
Exactly. White people get to have your foolishness and you get to laugh at it, but black people can't laugh at nothing that might be foolish if it's riding on the horseback of race. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of silly shit I want to dismiss, but I can't dismiss Jesse Jackson. Anything he says, I have to look at it and go, and then I have to be fair about it. But that's the thing, we're not allowed to be fair. Like I said to Opie a long time ago, if you remember the old Geraldo Rivera show, when they had race talks, it would always be Mr. Negropolis from Harvard University, went to school his whole life. Fucking versus you fucking niggers get sickle cell, man.
That's so true.
Yep.
Just so.
I mean, this country has no respect even for our highest thinkers. We have to have a debate with fucking you niggers get sickle cell anemia.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
All right, listen, Patrice. Really quick, because I think first of all, Stern fined Gilbert $100,000. That came out today.
Wow.
And for what he's been saying about the LeBron situation.
He has that in his sock right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think they should be able to say whatever the hell they want. It's just great to hear. And then Jason in Ohio, did Gilbert respond to Jesse's comments? Jason?
Hello, Jason.
God damn it, Jason. Does anyone know?
He's just listening to himself.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, he responded to him.
He's gonna answer.
Do you have that, Travis?
I don't have it in front of me because my computer's messed up. But
T-Storm.
Travis. He pretty much said that that he wasn't going to get into a back and forth with Jesse Jackson because he just didn't want to validate what Jesse said about comparing him to slavery.
Yeah, Jesse's an ass. Yeah. He's an ass.
He is, but that
did
actually
make a good point
that
saying
mentality.
that. It's like that mentality.
He just didn't have to use the slave thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's acting like such a bitch, I mean, by that I mean Dan Gilbert, over a lost employee, it's like, shut the fuck up. I agree. But I like the honesty.
Passion this guy's showing.
Passion, yeah, but it's like, don't be a cunt about it. He left your fucking shitty city and your shitty organization. Fuck you.
But the one thing, Jimmy, is
I like Cleveland.
LeBron did not return any calls from Gilbert or any of his people. Like, they couldn't even get a hold of the fucking guy from the end of the season all the way to that announcement. I think LeBron let him know just a couple minutes before he went on ESPN. Maybe he wouldn't even return their calls.
There's probably something else going on. Maybe he was mad that they didn't get that guy that Patrice said.
We don't know the whole story.
There's obviously something else.
But on a human level, two things it could be. I don't know if you've had anybody in your life who can influence you to do things you don't want to do. Like, where you might go, look, I don't want to talk to him because he's going to make me do what he wants to do. So Dan Gilbert and his people might have had some influence over LeBron, and LeBron just wanted to make his own decision, or he fucking hated Dan Gilbert. Those are the two fucking things.
Sure.
You know, he could have hated that.
Maybe he's a weak guy, and it would have been hard for him to say no to people. They took him out of high school, right?
Oh, yeah, they did.
So it's like Dan Gilbert, and I'm not saying it was wrong to pull the guy out of high school and pay him millions of dollars. That's fine. Like, we're after he graduated.
Well, after he graduated
of course.
high school.
Norton, let's be honest.
Blew off college.
You ever try to not do a gig, Norton?
Right.
And your people go, oh, you should do it, and you don't want to do it, but you got people going, yeah, do it, and you go, I don't want to do it, but you end up doing it because it's just people telling you, you know what I mean? And you're just like, shit. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that could have been happening. There's 1,000 different stories as a human, but, you know, whatever.
Right. Hey, Patrice, thanks, man. A great hour of radio. I appreciate it. And sorry about Montreal. Are you going to try to go back?
I mean, I don't know they're trying to get me back over there. They you know, the guys are working hard. Just the last people, I've been over there a lot. So, you know, I've been over there a lot. That's the one thing I thought was in my favor is like, listen, I've been there 50 fucking times.
When is the festival end? You going back, Jimmy?
I'm going back. I'm doing the Tonight Show Thursday, and I go back right from there Friday morning. I do shows Friday through Sunday.
Damn. All right, so maybe Patrice makes it back to
Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah, I hope you make it back up, man. I was looking forward to seeing you there.
All right, man. See you later.
Patrice O'Neal, everyone.